Have you ever felt like God pointed your heart toward someone, gave you peace when you prayed about them, allowed your spirit to recognize something different in them, something holy, something familiar, something that did not feel like ordinary attraction, and then right when you thought it was time to move forward, right when you thought the door was about to open, you heard the whisper of the Holy Spirit say, wait, not no, not never, not this is wrong, but wait. And that one word can shake you because you start asking God, why would you show me this if I cannot step into it yet? Why would you confirm it if I still have to stand still? Why would you allow my heart to feel peace and then command my feet to pause? My friends, listen to me very carefully, because this is where many people miss God. Confirmation does not always mean immediate movement. Sometimes God reveals the person before He releases the timing. Sometimes He allows you to discern the connection before He permits you to pursue the covenant. Sometimes He lets you see the promise, not so you can run ahead, but so you can prepare your heart, guard your spirit, and learn obedience before emotion becomes louder than instruction. A God-given connection still needs God-governed timing. Just because something is from God does not mean it is for right now. Just because the peace is real does not mean the process is finished. Just because the person is confirmed does not mean the season is released. And I need to speak to those of you who are tempted to rush because the connection feels spiritual, because it feels familiar, because the conversations feel easy, because the pull feels undeniable, because you keep seeing signs, hearing sermons, having dreams, noticing confirmations, and everything in you is saying, this must be God. But can I tell you something? If it is truly God, it can survive obedience. If it is truly ordained, it will not be destroyed by waiting. If heaven has written it, your patience will not erase it. What God authors, God knows how to sustain, but what you force prematurely, you may have to carry painfully. This message is for the person who is standing between confirmation and release. This message is for the one who says, Lord, I believe, you showed me something, but I do not know what to do with the waiting. This message is about to open your eyes to why God delays what He has already confirmed, how to wait without losing faith, how to protect your heart without hardening it, and how to know the difference between divine patience and emotional confusion. Because not every delay is rejection, and not every strong feeling is permission. Some delays are protection. Some pauses are preparation. Some waiting seasons are not God taking love away from you. They are God making sure love does not break you when it arrives. So before we go deeper, take a moment and like this video, subscribe if you have not already, and comment these words. Lord, I trust your timing. Let that be your declaration before the deeper revelation comes. Because this is not for people who only want romance. This is for people who want obedience. This is not just about finding love. It is about stewarding covenant. It is not just about emotions. It is about discernment. It is not just about attraction. It is about assignment. And when God confirms a person but commands a pause, He is not teasing you. He is teaching you how to receive what He has spoken without stepping outside of His timing. My friends, you have to understand the heart of God in the waiting, because if you do not understand His heart, the enemy will make you misinterpret His hand. God is not dangling love in front of you to hurt you. He is not showing you something beautiful just to torment you. He is not allowing confirmation just so He can pull it away and leave you confused. That is not the character of your Father. God reveals with intention. He delays with intention. He aligns with intention. He prepares with intention. Nothing about His timing is careless. Nothing about His pause is cruel. When God says wait, He is not withholding love. He is protecting purpose. And I need you to hear this clearly. It is not rejection. It is preparation. It is not confusion. It is positioning. It is not God changing His mind. It is God setting the order. Because sometimes the person may be right, but the order is not right yet. Sometimes the connection may be real, but the foundation is not ready yet. Sometimes the confirmation may be from heaven, but the timing still needs to be governed by heaven. We want God to confirm and release at the same moment, but God often confirms before He releases, because confirmation gives you hope, but waiting builds your capacity. The world teaches you to grab it before it is gone. The world says if you feel it, chase it. If there is chemistry, secure it. If there is a spark, act quickly before someone else does. But kingdom timing does not move by panic. Kingdom love is not built on fear of missing out. God does not need you to manipulate, chase, force, or hurry what He has ordained. If it belongs inside His will, then obedience will not destroy it. The world says grab it before it is gone. But God says, wait until it can be stewarded. Wait until your heart can carry it. Wait until your motives are purified. Wait until both people can honor the weight of what is being built. Because covenant is weighty, God is not just arranging companionship, He is preparing purpose. He is not just giving you someone to sit beside you. He may be preparing someone to build with you, pray with you, raise family with you, cover you spiritually, challenge your flesh, strengthen your calling, and walk with you through assignments that require more than attraction. This is why delay is not punishment. Delay is divine alignment. What feels like silence may be God protecting the future of the relationship. What feels like distance may be God giving both hearts room to heal. What feels like a closed door may simply be heaven saying not yet, because if you enter too soon, you may damage what was meant to bless you. So do not let urgency become your counselor. Do not let loneliness become your prophet. Do not let fear make decisions that only peace should confirm. God is positioning you. He is positioning your character, your emotions, your discernment, your schedule, your friendships, your finances, your family patterns, your spiritual covering, your ability to communicate, your ability to forgive, your ability to wait without worshiping the promise. Because when love is released in the timing of God, it does not just satisfy desire, it serves destiny. It is not just about having someone, it is about becoming ready to steward what God has trusted you to carry. And the first reason God may command the wait is because He is healing what love would expose. Let me say that again because somebody needs to receive this in their spirit. God may have confirmed the person, but He is still healing the places in you that would bleed into the relationship if He released it too soon. The confirmation may be real, the peace may be real, the connection may be real, but there may still be wounds in your heart that need the hand of God before they are touched by the hand of another person. Because love does not only comfort, love also reveals. Covenant does not only make you feel chosen, it exposes where you still fear being rejected. It exposes where you still expect abandonment. It exposes where betrayal taught you suspicion. It exposes where insecurity taught you comparison. It exposes where past heartbreak taught you to protect yourself so deeply that even a good person feels like a threat. My friends, this is why God does not rush. He knows what is underneath the desire. He knows the childhood rejection you learned to hide behind strength. He knows the abandonment fear that makes you panic when someone takes too long to respond. He knows the betrayal that made you read danger into every silence. He knows the insecurity that makes you wonder if you are enough. He knows the jealousy that rises when you feel unseen. He knows the deep need to be chosen, not just loved, but chosen loudly, constantly, repeatedly, because somewhere in your story someone made you feel easy to leave. And God is saying, before I release covenant into your hands, I want to heal the places that would turn covenant into pressure. Because you cannot build a healthy covenant while still using love as a bandage for unhealed pain. You cannot ask another person to become your healer, your savior, your proof, your identity, your emotional rescue, and your replacement for what only God can restore. That is too much weight for any person to carry. A spouse can love you, but a spouse cannot be God. A partner can support you, but a partner cannot become the foundation of your soul. A God-ordained person can walk with you, pray with you, choose you, and honor you, but if your heart is still bleeding, you may misread their humanity as rejection, their boundaries as abandonment, their quietness as betrayal, and their growth as distance. Can I tell you something with love and truth? The right person can still trigger the wrong wounds if the heart has not been surrendered to God. It does not mean they are wrong. It does not mean the promise is false. It may mean God is showing you what still needs healing before covenant becomes a battlefield. Some of you are not waiting because God is trying to punish you. You are waiting because God loves you enough to not let you bring old pain into a new promise and call it discernment. You keep saying, Lord, why the delay? And heaven is saying, because I am teaching you how to respond instead of react, how to trust instead of accuse, how to communicate instead of withdraw, how to forgive instead of punish, how to rest instead of grasp. Look at Adam before Eve. Before God brought Eve, Adam had identity. Adam had communion with God. Adam had assignment. Adam had responsibility. He was not wandering around the garden empty, confused, and desperate for someone to complete him. He was placed, he was named, he was working, he was listening, he was stewarding what God had entrusted to him. Before partnership, there was presence. Before companionship, there was communion. Before Eve was revealed, Adam already had a relationship with God and a responsibility in the garden. That is a pattern. God does not build covenant on emptiness. He builds it on wholeness. He does not bring someone to become your source. He brings someone to walk beside you while God remains your source. So if God has you in a waiting season, do not call it inactivity. Waiting is not doing nothing. Waiting is where God trains your emotions. Waiting is where He teaches self-control when your feelings want to run ahead. Waiting is where He teaches forgiveness for people who wounded you before this person ever arrived. Waiting is where He teaches emotional discipline, so you stop making permanent decisions from temporary fear. Waiting is where He teaches you to be whole, not perfect, but surrendered. Whole enough to love without clinging, whole enough to trust without losing discernment, whole enough to be chosen without making a person your idol, whole enough to receive love without testing it until it breaks. God heals the heart before He entrusts it with covenant, because He cares about both the promise and the person carrying it. He is not only preparing you to be loved, He is preparing you to love well. He is not only preparing you to receive, He is preparing you to steward. So let Him touch the wound, let Him expose the fear, let Him heal the insecurity. Let Him remove the need to perform for love, beg for love, chase love, or sabotage love before it can leave. Because the love God has for you will require a healed heart, a disciplined spirit, and a surrendered will. And if He is making you wait, it may be because He refuses to let the pain of yesterday destroy the covenant He is preparing for tomorrow. And the second reason God may command the wait is because He is testing the fruit, not just the feeling. My friends, this is where discernment becomes necessary, because strong feelings do not always mean divine approval. Chemistry is not the same as covenant. Attraction is not the same as assignment. Familiarity is not the same as confirmation. You can feel drawn to someone and still need to test what that connection is producing in your spirit. You can have butterflies and still be outside of obedience. You can have intense conversations, emotional moments, deep eye contact, similar dreams, shared wounds, and still need to ask the question, Lord, is this fruit or is this only feeling? Because Jesus said in Matthew 7:16, you will know them by their fruits, not by their words only, not by their potential only, not by how spiritual they sound in one conversation, not by how much they say they understand your calling, not by how much they make your emotions rise. You will know them by their fruit. So let me ask you, what is this connection producing? Does it produce peace or confusion? Does it produce holiness or compromise? Does it produce patience or pressure? Does it produce humility or pride? Does it produce obedience or rebellion? Does it make you hunger for God more, pray more, surrender more, walk in purity more, heal more, become more anchored in the presence of God? Or does it pull you into emotional chaos, secrecy, anxiety, and distance from the one who should remain first? This is why God uses time. Anyone can appear spiritual for a moment. Anyone can say the right thing when they want access to your heart. Anyone can talk about God, purpose, marriage, healing, family, destiny, and prayer when the atmosphere is emotional. But time reveals consistency. Time reveals character. Time reveals whether the person only had language or whether they had fruit. Time reveals how they respond when they are disappointed, how they handle boundaries, how they treat you when they cannot control you, how they speak when they are frustrated, how they behave when nobody is watching, how they honor God when desire is present. A moment can impress you, but fruit must be proven over time. And I need to say this with love, because somebody needs to be delivered from confusing intensity with intimacy. If you have to compromise to keep it, it is not from God. If you have to hide to maintain it, it is not from God. If you have to sin to sustain it, it is not from God. God will not send you a person who requires you to disobey Him in order to hold on to them. God will not bless a connection that makes you betray your convictions just to keep someone interested. God-ordained love may stretch your patience, but it will not destroy your purity. It may challenge your fears, but it will not lead you into bondage. It may require maturity, but it will not require rebellion against the voice of God. So pay attention to the warning signs, not with fear, but with wisdom. Confusion is a sign. Pressure is a sign. Manipulation is a sign. Hiddenness is a sign. Emotional chaos is a sign. A relationship that pulls you away from prayer, away from worship, away from wise counsel, away from your peace, away from your obedience, that is not something to romanticize. Do not call it passion if it is producing instability. Do not call it destiny if it is demanding disobedience. Do not call it love if it keeps making you smaller, quieter, more anxious, more secretive, more spiritually dry. The enemy knows how to send something that looks right but is not right, feels exciting but drains your spirit, sounds like promise but produces confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, God is not the author of confusion but of peace. That does not mean every God-ordained process will feel easy. Sometimes the waiting will stretch you. Sometimes the silence will discipline you. Sometimes the process will expose your impatience, your fear, your need for control, your hidden idols. But here is the difference. A God-ordained process may stretch your flesh, but it will not destroy your peace. It may challenge your timing, but it will not lead you into spiritual disorder. It may require surrender, but it will not demand sin. So, if God is making you wait, He may be giving the fruit time to speak louder than the feeling. He may be protecting you from being carried away by chemistry before character has been revealed. He may be slowing your emotions down long enough for your discernment to catch up. Because covenant cannot be built on excitement alone. Covenant needs fruit. Covenant needs peace. Covenant needs holiness. Covenant needs obedience. Covenant needs two people who are not just attracted to each other, but submitted to God. And if the connection is truly from Him, the waiting will not erase the fruit, it will reveal it. And the third reason God may command the wait is because the assignment is bigger than the attraction. My friends, this is where we have to move from discernment into destiny. Because God is not only asking, do you like each other? He is asking, can you carry purpose together? He is not only looking at the way your heart responds when you see them, He is looking at whether your lives can come into agreement with heaven. He is looking at whether your obedience can walk in the same direction. He is looking at whether your values can stand under pressure. He is looking at whether your union will serve more than your emotions. Because covenant is not just romance, it is righteousness. It is not just butterflies, it is burden. It is not just attraction, it is assignment. It is not just a wedding, it is witness. And this is where many people become impatient because they want the celebration before the consecration. They want the ring before the readiness. They want the promise without understanding the responsibility attached to the promise. But God sees what you cannot see. He sees the family lines that need healing. He sees the ministry that may be birthed through the union. He sees the children who may be shaped by that home. He sees the people who will watch your relationship and learn something about His faithfulness. He sees the pressure, the warfare, the decisions, the sacrifices, the calling, the burden, the stewardship connected to that covenant. So sometimes God delays the relationship because both people are still being formed for the mission attached to it. One person may still be learning humility. The other may still be learning consistency. One may still be healing from fear. The other may still be learning how to lead without control or support, without losing themselves. One may still be developing discipline. The other may still be surrendering pride. And God says, I cannot release the full weight of this covenant while the vessels are still unable to carry the assignment without breaking each other. Not because the love is false, not because the confirmation was a mistake, but because the purpose attached to it is weightier than the feelings that revealed it. Look at Priscilla and Aquila in Acts 18. They were not just a couple with affection, they were a partnership with purpose. They worked together, served together, hosted together, strengthened the work of God together, and when Apollos needed deeper understanding, they took him aside and explained the way of God more accurately. Do you see that picture? Their marriage was not just private comfort, it became public witness. It was not just about sharing a home, it was about advancing truth. It was not just about companionship, it was about kingdom contribution. Their love had enough maturity to carry ministry, instruction, hospitality, labor, and spiritual impact. That is covenant purpose. And I need you to hear this, because some of you are asking God for the romance, but God is preparing you for the responsibility. You are asking for the person, but God is preparing your character. You are asking for the relationship, but God is preparing the assignment. Because if you rush into covenant before the assignment is mature, what was meant to bless you can become a burden. What was meant to strengthen your calling can become a distraction from it. What was meant to help you obey God can become the very place where you fight for control, compete for attention, mishandle wounds, and lose sight of why God brought you together in the first place. This is why God will not let attraction become your only confirmation. Attraction may introduce awareness, but assignment reveals alignment. Butterflies may make you notice someone, but burden will reveal whether you can build with them. Romance may make you feel close, but righteousness will show whether you are walking in the same direction. Can you pray together? Can you serve together? Can you submit your desires to God together? Can you handle correction? Can you honor boundaries? Can you pursue purity? Can you encourage each other's calling without jealousy? Can you carry purpose when life is not exciting, when emotions are not loud, when pressure comes, when sacrifice is required? God is not trying to make love complicated. He is making sure love has the strength to survive purpose. He is not trying to take joy out of the connection. He is making sure the connection can carry more than chemistry. He is not trying to frustrate your heart. He is making sure your heart is not entering something beautiful without the maturity to steward it. Because a God-ordained covenant is not fragile entertainment for lonely people. It is a holy partnership for submitted people. It is not just two people choosing each other. It is two people choosing God in the way they love each other. So if the weight is still there, do not assume God forgot what He confirmed. He may be strengthening the assignment beneath the attraction. He may be teaching both hearts how to carry purpose before they carry each other. He may be forming a Priscilla and Aquila kind of partnership, one that does not just look good in pictures, but serves the kingdom in power. And when the purpose is ready, when the character is ready, when the timing is ready, what God confirmed will not have to be forced, because covenant released in divine order will carry the weight it was created to carry. And this is why Ruth becomes such a powerful picture for the waiting season. Because Ruth did not chase Boaz, Ruth stayed in the field of obedience. She did not manipulate her way into destiny. She did not force herself into visibility. She did not run around trying to make a covenant happen. She did not abandon her responsibility because her future had not fully arrived. Ruth was grieving. Ruth was rebuilding. Ruth was serving Naomi. Ruth was walking humbly. Ruth was doing the next right thing in front of her, and while she was being faithful in an ordinary field, God was arranging an extraordinary future. My friends, look at Ruth 2:3. The Bible says she went and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz. She happened. That is what it looked like on the surface. It looked accidental. It looked random. It looked like she just chose a field and ended up in the right place. But what the text calls happened, heaven calls ordered. What looked like coincidence was providence. What looked like an ordinary workday was a divine appointment. Ruth did not know that every humble step was being guided. She did not know that her obedience was carrying her into alignment. She did not know that the field of survival would become the field of covenant. Can I tell you something? This is how God moves many times. No flashing sign, no dramatic announcement, no one standing at the edge of the field saying, "Ruth, today you are walking into destiny." She was just faithful. She was just gleaning. She was just honoring Naomi. She was just working with humility. She was just doing what her season required. And while she was doing what obedience demanded, God was doing what only providence can do. He was leading her steps to the right field, at the right time, under the right covering, in the presence of the right person. So let me speak to the person who feels tempted to abandon your field, because love has not fully arrived yet. Do not leave the place of obedience because the promise is still unfolding. Do not stop healing because you are tired of waiting. Do not stop serving because you have not seen the outcome. Do not stop praying because the door has not opened. Do not stop becoming because the relationship has not been released. Your field may not look romantic right now. Your field may look like work. Your field may look like responsibility. Your field may look like caring for family, building discipline, going to therapy, serving in ministry, studying, showing up, forgiving, becoming stable, becoming whole, becoming submitted. But do not despise the field. because God often reveals covenant while you are simply being faithful in your assigned place. There is a difference between chasing and positioning. Chasing drains you, positioning prepares you. Chasing makes you anxious, positioning makes you obedient. Chasing forces doors, positioning walks through the doors God opens. Chasing says, I have to make this happen before I lose it. Positioning says, if God ordained it, obedience will lead me where I need to be. Chasing comes from panic. Positioning comes from trust. Chasing tries to control the outcome. Positioning surrenders the outcome and stays faithful with the assignment in front of you. And some of you have been calling it waiting, but God is calling it positioning. He is positioning you in prayer. He is positioning you in character. He is positioning you in humility. He is positioning you in emotional healing. He is positioning you in community. He is positioning you in wisdom. He is positioning you in the field where your consistency can be seen, where your faithfulness can mature, where your heart can be tested without your destiny being rushed. Because Boaz did not meet Ruth while she was chasing him, he noticed her while she was faithful. That is a word for somebody. The right person will not need you to perform, strive, beg, manipulate, or lose yourself to be seen. When God is in it, obedience has a way of bringing you into visibility. Humility has a way of becoming beautiful. Faithfulness has a way of attracting what heaven has assigned. Ruth did not make herself loud, but her character spoke. She did not force her name into Boaz's ear, but her faithfulness had already created a testimony. And when Boaz asked about her, the report was not about her desperation, it was about her devotion. So stay in your field. Stay faithful in what God has given you to do today. Keep healing, keep praying, keep honoring, keep working, keep serving, keep becoming. Do not let delay pull you into desperation. Do not let silence convince you to strive. The same God who led Ruth quietly can lead you quietly. The same God who ordered her steps without her understanding. Every detail can order your steps without you needing to control every outcome. And when the time is right, you will not have to chase what God has appointed, because divine alignment knows how to find you in the field of obedience. And when the wait feels like a setback, God may be building the setup. I know that sounds simple, but when your heart is in the middle of it, it does not feel simple. It is difficult to feel confirmation and still be unable to move forward. It is difficult to have peace about a person, but no permission to pursue the timing. It is difficult to sense that God has shown you something, but then the process takes longer than your emotions expected. And some of you are sitting there wondering, Lord, did I hear you wrong? Did I imagine this? Did I mistake desire for discernment? Did I call it confirmation because I wanted it so badly? My friends, let me speak peace over that place in you. Delay does not always mean denial. Silence does not always mean absence. Distance does not always mean disconnection. Sometimes God is not canceling what He confirmed. He is constructing what must be strong enough to carry it. Sometimes heaven is quiet because heaven is working beneath the surface. Sometimes nothing seems to be moving because God is dealing with the things you cannot see yet, the maturity that must grow, the family matters that must be settled, the finances that must be ordered, the relocation that must be prepared, the emotional stability that must be established, the spiritual readiness that must be formed. You see the pause, but God sees the foundation. You see the distance, but God sees the timing. You see the unanswered question, but God sees every piece that must come into alignment before covenant can arrive without being crushed by pressure. Because what good is it for the relationship to begin if the foundation cannot hold it? What good is it for the door to open if both hearts are still unstable? What good is it for the promise to arrive if impatience has already trained you to manage it in fear? And this is where you must be careful, because impatience can birth Ishmael when God promised Isaac. Abraham and Sarah had a word from God, but the waiting became uncomfortable, and they tried to help God fulfill what only God could fulfill. And the result was pain, confusion, and consequences that came from moving ahead of divine timing. So, do not fill the waiting season with substitutes. Do not grab someone else just because the promise is taking time. Do not entertain counterfeit comfort because obedience feels lonely. Do not build an Ishmael relationship because you are tired of waiting for Isaac. Let patience do its perfect work. Let God strengthen the foundation. Let Him mature the heart. Let Him order the practical things. Let Him prepare the path. A divine delay can be the hidden construction of a stronger future. And when God releases what He has been building, you will understand why He did not let your emotions rush ahead of His wisdom. So how do you wait without losing the promise? You wait by becoming prepared, not passive. You wait by staying surrendered, not asleep. You wait by keeping your heart open to God, but guarded from obsession. Because waiting well does not mean sitting in a corner doing nothing until heaven drops the answer in your lap. Waiting well means you keep growing while God keeps working. It means you keep praying, keep healing, keep serving, keep listening, keep obeying, while refusing to turn the promise into an idol. My friends, there is a difference between faith and fixation. Faith says, "Lord, I trust what you showed me, but I trust your timing more than my emotions." Fixation says, "Lord, I believe. You confirmed it. Now tell me when, how, where, and why it has not happened yet." Faith rests in the character of God. Fixation keeps checking, watching, analyzing, replaying, imagining, and trying to control every movement. And some of you are not losing peace because God removed the promise. You are losing peace because you are holding the promise tighter than you are holding His hand. So pray without obsessing. Bring it to God, but do not make it the only thing you talk to God about. Ask Him for clarity, ask Him for confirmation, ask Him for patience, ask Him for clean motives, ask Him to remove fantasy, fear, pride, desperation, and control. But do not demand a timeline as if God must prove His faithfulness by moving when your emotions feel ready. The prayer is not, "Lord, hurry up before I lose hope." The prayer is, "Lord, make me ready for what you have ordained. Lord, purify my desire. Lord, protect my heart from deception. Lord, teach me how to wait without worshiping the outcome." And while you wait, establish boundaries, because emotion without boundaries will outrun obedience. Do not feed what God told you to surrender. Do not create secret attachments that make waiting harder than it needs to be. Do not keep opening doors God is asking you to leave closed for now. Do not stalk, chase, pressure, manipulate, hint, test, provoke, or try to make the other person move before God has released the season. If God said wait, then your obedience must have structure. Boundaries are not unbelief. Boundaries are wisdom. Boundaries protect the promise from premature pressure. Use the waiting season to cultivate what covenant will require. Cultivate healing, because love will touch tender places. Cultivate discipline, because covenant cannot be stewarded by impulse. Cultivate purpose, because your life cannot revolve around a person. Cultivate wise counsel, because isolation can make desire sound like discernment. Cultivate purity, because what God builds in holiness should not be maintained in compromise. Cultivate communication maturity, because silence, assumptions, and emotional reactions can damage what prayer should have prepared. Cultivate forgiveness, because old wounds will try to speak in new moments. Cultivate contentment in God, because the safest person to love is the one who already knows God is their source. Can I tell you something? God is not just preparing you to receive love, He is preparing you to receive love without idolizing it. Because if you need the promise to feel complete, you may worship it when it comes. If you need the person to feel chosen, you may cling to them in fear. If you need the relationship to prove your worth, you may place a weight on it that only God was meant to carry. But when God becomes your fullness, love becomes a gift, not a God. Covenant becomes a blessing, not a rescue mission. The person can be honored without being enthroned. So wait with your hands open, surrender without detaching from faith, prepare without trying to control the outcome. Stay faithful in the field God has given you. Keep your spirit clean. Keep your motives surrendered. Keep your heart soft, but not careless. Keep your hope alive, but anchored in God, not in a date, not in a message, not in a sign, not in a fantasy. And if this word is speaking to you, write this declaration as a public act of surrender. Lord, prepare me for what you have prepared for me. Because waiting well means becoming the kind of person who can carry what God is bringing. It means you do not lose yourself in longing. You do not abandon your assignment for anxiety. You do not rush the door because you are tired of the hallway. You let God form you, steady you, mature you, and teach you how to love from wholeness. And when the promise comes in God's timing, you will not have to grab it in fear. You will be able to receive it in peace. And the sign that the waiting season is lifting is not that anxiety gets louder, it is that peace and obedience begin to move together. My friends, when God releases what He confirmed, you will not have to manipulate it, pressure it, force it, chase it, beg for it, or keep it alive through constant emotional panic. What God releases in His timing will still require maturity. It will still require communication. It will still require wisdom, but it will not require disobedience to move forward. It will not need secrecy. It will not need games. It will not need you to become someone you are not, just to keep the door open. Because when heaven begins to lift the pause, peace increases, clarity increases, obedience becomes clearer, wise counsel begins to confirm what your spirit has been sensing. Both people begin to show maturity, not just interest. Both people begin to honor God, not just each other. Doors begin to open without sin. Conversations become sober, honest, and submitted. The connection stops feeding confusion and starts producing order. And this is important, because effortless does not mean problem-free. Do not misunderstand that. God-ordained love still has real conversations, real adjustments, real surrender, real patience, real growth. But here is the difference. Grace is present. Direction is clear. There is a willingness on both sides to honor God above desire. Look at Genesis 24. Abraham's servant was sent to find a wife for Isaac, and he prayed for divine direction at the well. And before he had even finished speaking, Rebekah came out with her jar on her shoulder. Do you see the timing of God? No striving, no forcing, no manipulation. She was simply doing what her ordinary day required, but heaven had arranged the moment. What looked like water drawing was divine orchestration. What looked like a normal walk to the well was an appointed encounter. Rebekah arrived at the right place, at the right time, with the right posture, and the door opened in a way that carried confirmation, character, family witness, and peace. That is how God knows how to move. He knows when, He knows where, He knows how. He knows how to bring the connection into the right season without you violating your peace to make it happen. But be careful, because impatience can imitate release. Urgency can sound spiritual when your heart is tired of waiting. The heart can say, move now, say something now, push now, prove it now. But God creates peace. God creates order. God creates confirmation that does not pull you out of obedience. So if the waiting season is lifting, you will not feel driven by fear. You will feel led by peace. You will not be trying to escape loneliness. You will be walking in obedience. You will not need to break a boundary to test a promise. You will not need to abandon wisdom to follow a feeling. When God releases what He confirmed, peace and obedience will walk side by side, and the same God who guarded the promise in the waiting will guide the promise into its appointed time. So let us pray. Lord, teach me to trust your timing. Teach me to surrender the impatience that wants to move before you speak. Teach me to lay down the fear that says, if I do not force it, I will lose it. Teach me to release the confusion that keeps me analyzing what you have already told me to place in your hands. Heal the loneliness that tempts me to settle. Heal the anxiety that makes waiting feel like rejection. Heal the places in my heart that still believe love must be chased, earned, controlled, or protected by my own strength. Father, I surrender the desire to force what only you can establish. I surrender the need to know every detail, every date, every step, every sign. I surrender fantasy. I surrender fear. I surrender comparison. I surrender the pressure to make something happen outside of your peace. If you have confirmed it, you are able to keep it. If you have ordained it, you are able to align it. If it belongs to your will, it does not need my striving to survive. Lord, heal me before partnership. Prepare my heart before covenant. Remove every wound that would make me cling, every insecurity that would make me control, every past disappointment that would make me suspicious of what you send. Give me discernment against counterfeits. If it looks right but pulls me away from you, expose it. If it feels good but produces confusion, reveal it. If it requires compromise, give me the courage to walk away. And if it is from you, teach me to wait in peace until you release it in order. Give me courage to obey boundaries. Give me strength to remain positioned in the field you assigned to me. Keep me faithful in prayer, faithful in healing, faithful in purpose, faithful in purity, faithful in obedience. I declare I will not miss what God has ordained for me. I will not settle for what God has not sent. I will not rush ahead of divine timing. I will not let fear drive what faith is supposed to surrender. The safest place for love is inside the timing of God. And if this prayer is speaking to your heart, write in the comments, Lord, I trust your timing for my covenant relationship. And if you need strength in this waiting season, leave your prayer request, because you are not waiting alone. Like this message, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs confirmation that waiting is not rejection, it is preparation. God bless you. May the Lord guide your heart, protect your future, and align you with the person He has prepared in His perfect time.